For this week's activity, we're going to take a look at some real estate type problems. This is kind of mixing some finance things with problem solving skills that we learned earlier. I want you to note the differences in what you learned in the lessons of just like what's straight up simple interest versus compound interest versus like trying to find taxes, looking at how much of a mortgage is paid off, and those kind of things. So it's not always just like, oh, we have this one standard formula and let's, just throw some numbers in it. You have to piece it together. So this is a good activity for piecing a lot of money type problems together. So in this video, you can just go ahead and try these all on your own for this activity. But you might need some help with just how to set up the problem. So I'm going to try to walk you through that a little bit and then leave the remaining stuff for you to do. So for the first one, we have Valerie. She's preparing to purchase a large house. The house is listed and assessed at $1,350,500. To complete the purchase, she goes to her bank seeking an $800,000 loan. The bank is willing to give her a 30-year fixed interest loan at 4%. Due to the size of the house, the taxes and cost of insurance coverage are significant. The bank requires Valerie to place money in an escrow account to cover 6 months of homeowners insurance and property taxes. With an annual insurance premium of $20,000 and annual property taxes at a rate of $11.75 per 1,000 assessed value, how much is Valerie required to deposit? And you can just round to the nearest dollar for all of these, or if you wanted on that one, you could round up to make sure you have enough. Either way is fine. So the first thing we want to look at too is the instructions here that we've been using, the 4-step process. I mean, really, it's kind of multi-step, but we narrowed down just to 4 pieces for the rubric. So first part is always just state what you're trying to find. Like, what is it that we're looking to get at? And the bottom line is usually that's in the end here. How much is Valerie required to deposit? And so that's her escrow amount. So we need that for 6 months though. So we're just gonna look at it relating to half a year. Okay, so we're gonna write down here, we need to find escrow. And in order to do that, what that means is it's going to be the tax plus the insurance. Okay, so you can just make a note like that. And then for part B, maybe there's a formula, maybe there's variables involved. You can sort that out, how you want to label them. B and C kind of flow together a little bit on this one for me. So the first thing you're going to do is look at insurance right here, $20,000. That's the annual value, annual insurance, and annual property taxes are not given as straightforward. So we would have a scale factor here that we have to work with. So for the insurance, you can just go ahead and cut that in half and just track what that is. Okay, so you can put the insurance value here for the half year. And then for property tax, you are going to have to like make a little proportion, probably let X equal the property tax for the new house, right? So that she wants to buy. And you can use this as a scale factor, and we've done some work with that. So I'll help you get your proportions set up. So this is for the property tax part over here. So you could do 1175 per $1,000 would equal X in taxes per 1,350,500. So then just cross multiply and figure out what X is. Now, once you get that, make sure you cut that in half because it's only half a year. And then once you do that, you can add it to whatever you got here. You're going to add the insurance plus the tax together. Okay, I mean, you could do each for a year and then cut the whole thing in half. And then you'll write in a sentence, you know, just blah, 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 what that means in context. So that's the way to set up number one. Now we'll move on to number two. Danya owns a mall. 8 years ago, she bought the property for $625,000, and the value of the property increased to $790,750. That should have a dollar sign as of the previous year. This last year, she took in $294,500 in rental income from her tenants and had operating costs of $65,360. Okay, so she didn't earn all of this $294,500. You have to subtract off this to get what her actual income was. Okay, so that's a tip there. So you're going to subtract off the income. Now this year, the property is expected to take in $300,360 in total rent, and the cost will be $70,200 to operate. Okay, so you can figure out what that income is. And then the rental income is expected to be the same percentage of the property value. Okay, so we're doing the percent of the property value as the previous year. What is the estimated value for this year based on the rental money it generated? So the first step here would be list, you know, what are you trying to find? You're trying to find this year's value of the property. So like the base value, like the, you know, what it would be considered kind of comparable to this number here, the 790,750, but what is it projected to be this year? So if we can figure out the percentage, because that's what we have to base it off of, the same, or base it on the same percentage that she had of her property value, was her income was a certain amount of her property value, right? So we need to find that first. So step one of that is to find the percentage of the property value as the income. Okay, so the way you're gonna do that is you can do percent will equal the income, or the amount, you know, amount of income, over the base, which in this case is the value. So you can set it up like that. Once you figure out the percentage, so you're going to have a number here, P equals some decimal. And then once you get that, you can do part two and set it up to find the, this time now you're going to find the base value, or what we're calling it is the, you know, basically the new value that it increased to. So that would be the new, which would be the income for this year, the new income, using these numbers. Find the difference of those numbers. divided by the percent that you got here. Okay, and you'll get a value for that, and then write it. So again, B and C kind of run together there, but D would be to just write that all in a sentence. Okay. And I'll give you a little hint with that one. It goes up a little, but not too much.